Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think we here now. You know what I'm saying? What's up, y'all? Thank y'all. Thank y'all for that are here right now, that were waiting, that were appreciative and all that. I just want to say real quick, thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to all the people that have been following. I feel like we're going to have a great show today, man, because I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot on my chest. I mean, there's a lot that has been going on these last, or I would just say, man, since we just got started, right? Since we just got started, there's been a lot with the Golden Globes, with the Oscars, with the image you see right here with Lil Nas X pretending to be Christ. And let's not forget that previously he was pretending to be Satan. So first he's going to be Satan, twerking on Satan at that, or a devil twerking on Satan, whatever the heck he was. I remember he also had the Satan sneakers, right? So he's doing all of that. But now he's turning to say that he's part of Christ. I want to tell y'all something. We're going to get into this maybe deeper in a little bit. I don't want to get too religious and crazy. That's not what this whole stream is going to be about. But I will tell you this, though, man. It has caused a holy debate, a religious debate on Twitter, where now you got Muslims making fun of Christians, Christians going after Muslims. Let's not talk also about the Jewish tunnels in New York. What's up with that, man? What's up with that? Hey, do we have not a lot to talk about or what, yo? So I'm going to just chill for a minute. Let me just do my research. I'm going to do my research. Let me just check to see what's going on here. I don't know if y'all saw this video right here. Let's play it back real quick. I mean, I don't think we need the volume. But yeah. The video where he's dressed as Christ and he's eating the bread and whatever it is, drinking the wine. This is an interesting thing that I'm seeing that's really have started. And this is probably the part that I don't want to go too much into detail about this, because supposedly Lil Nas X is supposed to drop his video tomorrow, which I believe is Friday, is when the video comes out. But I will say this, though. Let me just pull up his Twitter account. I will say this. Yeah, Christ tonight. So maybe it's coming out at 9 o'clock tonight, actually, or midnight or something like that. I don't know what time. He's probably dropping it. Yeah, that makes sense. Midnight tonight. So we can all get ready for Lil Nas X release. Let's just watch the. I mean, I don't even know if we can really play this on here because it might get flagged, but let me see if I could just, okay, so good. It's not a video anyways. It's just an image of him on the cross, yo. Now, for those in context, I want to make sure that y'all can see this. For those in context, look at this, man. Let me just pull up when he had the sneaker, right? So my point is this, though, is just he's really on some weird, Illuminati. Just like, it's like, yo, man, just go ahead and admit that you just part of it, man. Just admit it. Like everything that you do, every album that you sell has to be part of controversy. And do me a favor, yo, let's get the likes up. Let's get the subscribes up. I'm still waiting for a few more people to come in here. I just want to do some research on some stuff. Y'all see the thumbnail with the color purple. Y'all seen the thumbnail with Jo Koy? I think his name is, the comedian that did the Golden Globes. Some people are saying that he did career sabotage. Yo, so we all saw this, right? We all saw all of these things. But my point is this, though, is that is Hollywood doing some kind of a weird thing? Because I'm starting to feel that there's more talent on the internet than is actually in Hollywood now. I mean, come on, man. If y'all think about it, when y'all watch the Golden Globes, I mean, I know some of y'all probably don't even give a shit about that, and I don't blame you. But if you watch the Oscars, if you watch the Golden Globes, if you watch the Grammys, maybe except for the Grammys because, there's a lot of rappers out there. But when you watch those two specific award shows, it seems like we're seeing the same actors that we've been seeing for the last, I don't know, over 30 years or something like that, maybe more. And it's just like, yo, man, don't we get tired of seeing Martin Scorsese do the same movies over and over again? No disrespect to Martin Scorsese. We know that you are definitely one of the best directors of all time. Taxi is one of my favorite movies by Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Let me just make sure I got that correct, right? I don't want to be messing up the grades. Yeah. Okay. So good. I just want to make sure. Let me just make this screen smaller for y'all for a second. Give me a second. So everything kind of fits. All right. Yeah. So classic movie, man. Taxi Driver. Probably one of the best movies and weirdest and strangest movies ever written. But it almost seems like, other than the movie that he made with Leonardo DiCaprio, just the recent one I think they did, it seems like all of his movies have to be about Goodfellas and, you know, Mafia, New York and Brooklyn and Manhattan and Queens. And that's cool, man. No disrespect. Like I said, again, he's one of the greatest directors of all time. But it's like, how many times are we going to see you do movies with Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro? How many times, man? How many times are we going to see you do the same movie over and over again? And everybody's just going to sit there and clap and be like, oh, yes, that was a great film. Man, we'll go back to that in a minute, man, too. So like I said, man, there's a lot that's just, in my personal opinion, going on with Hollywood, going on with all these so-called conspiracies. Yeah. And then the other funny thing about this Lil Nas X story is that this dude also, I heard, went and pretended like he got accepted to some Christian university. And then TMZ did a report where they said the Christian university didn't even hear about it, didn't even know who he was, because he didn't say Lil Nas X on his application. Really interesting, man, how you want to just go ahead and blast out on your social media that you got accepted into a university that never even heard of you. I got to say, man, this dude knows how to chase some clout. So I know we're going to take a little bit of a change here, but I want to talk about Hollywood. I want to talk about Black Hollywood. And I got some other like little crazy stories to tell you guys, man. You know, that I don't know if I may share or not, but I feel like I kind of got contacted by the Illuminati today. All right, but let me go ahead and play this one clip of Taraji. I don't know if y'all saw the movie The Color Purple, and I'm pretty sure that you probably won't see the movie The Color Purple, but I will say this, though, that there's an interview, in case you guys don't know, where Taraji, I'm sure you've heard it a bit before right now, where she's crying, talking about how she's undercut, she's underpaid, people don't value her, they don't respect what she brings to the table. She feels, as a Black actress as well and a woman of color, I feel like this is something to kind of speak about, along with Angela Bassett kissing Regina King at the Golden Globes, which I know it was just a peck, but it's just the whole situation of the peck, the kiss, whatever you want to call it, plus the honorary Oscar. Whatever that means. That means, to me, oh, you should have got it last year, or whatever year it was. I think it was last year or something. But yeah, you should have got it then. Fix this real quick. But we just going to give it to you right now at some dinner show. It's not even like really the Oscars or anything. It's just some ball or some dinner show. But, you know, all the actors are up in there from what I think. And we're going to give you the Oscar. It didn't look like the same thing that Will Smith did where he slapped Chris Rock. It didn't look like that. But, you know, I want to play this for you guys. It's a little sad. And I'll come back to this in a minute. But I went to the movies yesterday for the first time in a long time. I usually don't go to the movies because there's a lot of movies out there that don't really appeal to me. I'm like, oh, I'll just wait to watch that later. But this particular time I was like, you know what? I want to go to the movies and I want to see what's out there. And there was a couple movies I wanted to see. Napoleon was one of them. I'm not going to bore you with that, but I will say that I was very disappointed in Napoleon. I was expecting more. It turned out to be, spoiler alert, in case you care to see the movie, you might want to mute this part, but spoiler alert, it just turned out to be a love story. And I thought it was going to be more about his war tactics. I mean, there was some scenes where he's showing that. I wanted to see his mind frame and how he handled things and how he ran his empire. Didn't really talk about that. And I was a little disappointed about that. I was feeling like the movie was going to do more about that. And I feel like a lot of these movies, which I heard other people saying as I was walking out of the theater, along with other people, were basically saying the same thing. Like, oh, I thought it was going to be more about, this and that and the business. And it just turned out to be more about his wife. So now I'm starting to see where these movies ain't really that entertaining as much anymore. I'm feeling. And I said, you know what? Let me go see The Color Purple too. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm going to go see The Color Purple. Went to go see it. And I'll be honest with you, it actually wasn't that bad. From what I heard, it was actually better than I expected it to be. And the reason why I went to go see it was not really because, what's it called? It wasn't really because, I really wanted to go see the movie. Yeah. It was more so, hold on, my bad, that was playing in the background. I went to go see it more so because I heard so many people talking about how they didn't like it and they felt this way and the movie didn't make any money and some other shit happened. I don't know. So that's why I went to go see it. But let me go ahead and just play this one part for you real quick.
What I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired.
For those that don't know, I know that don't do their research. Basically, she's saying they put the same money into other productions. Let's analyze this real quick, man. What she's basically talking about is Warner Brothers. I think that's what she's talking about. Now, if in case you guys don't remember, because you see, some of us that go to the movies, we actually read the credits. Okay? And Willy Wonka, which is one of the big movies, right? Along with The Color Purple is one of the movies, right? But you know what a real interesting thing is that a lot of people forget? Is that Barbie was also done by Universal. Or I'm sorry, Warner Brothers. Man, make some noise for that. So if you really think about it, all of these movies or something like that, all seem to be coming from the same studio, Warner Brothers. So when she said basically that they don't have money for this, but you have money for the other movies and it doesn't translate, I think she was throwing a jab at Barbie. And let me tell you this, man. And let me tell you this. If you see The Color Purple, and I'm assuming that probably most of you that watch this channel will not see The Color Purple, but if you do happen to want to watch The Color Purple or Barbie, which I saw both of these movies, I will tell you right now that they're very similar. It almost seems like The Color Purple is the black version of Barbie. It's the black version of Barbie. That's what it seems like. And they're very similar, just like in the colors, the set design, the atmosphere, the clothing, the styling, the musical. They both sang in them. I could just tell, man, the way it was shot, the way it's filmed, the angles that they use, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, man, I want to thank everybody that's tuning in right now and that's subscribing. Let's get the likes up, yo. Like, can we get the likes up and the subscribes up? I really appreciate it, man. Like, get the likes up so we can get this out here. If you guys got anything to say in the chat, yes, I'm on right now and I'm reading some stuff. You know? Let me make sure that the chat is working while we got this playing. Let's go back to this real quick. But like I said, she is she's basically talking about Barbie when she said, I know that y'all got the money for this, but then you say that you don't have the money for us. That was basically, okay, let's go back.
Yeah. I'm tired of hearing that my entire career, 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing, and I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face. And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, like, enough is enough. That's why I have other things. I have my TPH brand. I have my mental wellness. I have other things because this industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen. I have other things because this industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen. Enough is enough.
Did she just really
That's
just
why I have
basically
other
tell
things.
us?
I have my TPH brand.
Did she really just tell us that they steal your soul?
If you let it, it'll steal your soul.
Yeah. Hopefully y'all can see this in the chats right now. I'm gonna just say one thing real quick. See if it goes through. beatGrade. See if y'all see that. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. She's just basically telling you right there that they will steal your soul, man. Yeah.
But I refuse to let that happen.
Yes. Yeah, there's a song in there about life can never break your soul. It's a quote from one of the songs that Hallie sings in the movie. It seems like this is the right time for people to hear something like this, isn't it?
Wow. And I mean,
Yeah. So Oprah had to obviously respond about that, and let's see.
Black women
Yes, and I would just like to say about this whole Taraji, you know, I heard I was trending yesterday because people are saying that I was not supporting Taraji. Taraji will tell you herself that I've been the greatest champion of this film, championing not only the behind the scenes production, but also everything that everybody needed. So whenever I heard that there was something that people needed, I'm not in charge of the budget because that's Warner Brothers, you know.
Let's talk about that real quick. Oprah, who we know is a certified billionaire, right? Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Let's get the word out there. You know, I really do appreciate y'all that are liking and subscribing. Let's get it up, man. Come on, let's get it up. Listen, I've heard people say that Monique said something about this too as well. Now, in case y'all don't know, if we can go to the color purple, I want more. I want to see more. I want to see the credits. Okay, so I guess we got to look it up. Oh, and by the way, I heard it bombed at the box office too. Like it didn't even, they expected the numbers to be way higher. But hey, we ain't talking about that. You know, it could happen. They got good ratings. They got pretty good ratings on Google, Rotten Tomatoes, and all that. Let's look it up real quick on Wikipedia, though. I just want to see who's like the producers. I already know Quincy Jones, Steven Spielberg, and Oprah. But it looks like they're making it. They're like really trying to hide themselves. They're really trying to hide themselves because after they heard that, after everybody was complaining, I even saw in the comments that one person said that Taraji looks like she was unhappy and upset through this whole promo run. Like she said that if you ain't, she basically just told us that if you ain't careful, they could steal your soul. And I'll be honest with you, when I was looking at her, here we go, finally. When I was looking at her, it almost looks like something looks different about her. Like if I go to Taraji, I mean, you know, right there we can't really see her. But it's like, it almost looks like, I mean, I hate to say it in some ways, but it almost looks like they might have tried to take her soul or something's happened. Like I say, man, you can always see it in the eyes. And her eyes are definitely saying that she's seen some, you know what I mean? She look like she's seen something. She's seen something, and it looks scary. It looks like, I don't know. Looking at it's almost like, yo, you just accomplished a dream that many people have. And now that she's accomplished that dream, which is what she has said in the interview, she said it just seems like she had to keep starting back over and over again. And it almost seems like basically she had to keep selling her soul to try to get to a certain level. And it's like, damn, man, now that I really think about it, it's like, whoa, you know what? Yeah, let's go a little deeper on this. Why not? Why not, man? That's what we here for, right? Because, like I said, man, there ain't no truth out there right now. And a lot of people might get mad at that. Like, I had somewhat of a debate / argument last night with this girl I'm talking to. And, if you're watching this, please don't get mad at me. But I feel like I should be addressed. And I'm not going to go into detail about it. But I will say that we were kind of talking about the color purple. And, we were talking about other things, too, like how black women were back then and how black women or women are now and all that stuff. But that's a whole nother podcast. I'll let Fred, Fresh and Fit, those guys, I'll let those guys handle that one. But you know what I'm saying, though. Let's get the likes and the subscribes up, yo, because we need to get this message out here. I'm about to come with the truth right now. I'm already coming with the truth, but we about to go deeper into the truth right now. So we was talking about like women and how women and men are and how, women aren't as submissive as they used to be. And like I said, I'll let somebody else handle that part. We'll talk about that later. But just from the other part of the movie of like how it sounds like they were being treated like slaves while they were making a movie about, coming out of the slaves. Like when black people had just, I guess this is like supposed to take place after the Civil War, and I want to make sure, fact check real quick. Yeah, so this is like well after the Civil War, right? I believe it takes place in the 1900s, early 1900s, okay? And I'm just saying like how the women, especially for this movie, is portraying for black women, just how they acted and how they acted around men as to opposed to how black women are acting now, and it's just like, man, y'all got treated like the Help while you was making a movie about the Help. How ironic is that? Get this up, man. Let me get this up real quick. Can y'all hear me okay? I said, let's get these likes up, yo, so we can get this message out here. Yo, man, they was being treated like the Help while they was making a movie about the Help. For example, I heard that there was a situation where they didn't even have food. Now, isn't that crazy? They said they was filming this movie for hours, working for hours, and they didn't even have no food, and they had to get on the phone with Oprah to tell Oprah, hey, we need some food. We's ain't eating. We's hungry. We's hungry. Oh my God. Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe that they were actually hungry and they had no food? Let me go back to this real quick. So if we can see on the Google, let me just make sure y'all can see that. Zoom in just for a second. Right there, man. You see that here's the producers of the film, which is really important to see here, these names. And if you see right here that I've highlighted, these names right here, Steven Spielberg, which we all know is another one of the biggest directors of all time, who's been making movies since like at least the early 70s, possibly even, I'd say definitely 70s is when he started to take over. So this man was already like, he did Jaws, you know what I'm saying? Like he was already big in the 70s. Come on, man. Y'all know Jaws? I mean, how many times are they redoing this movie? How many times is this movie being redone? Okay, so it's like he did Jaws, man. Look at that. Let me open up this image right here. What an image, though. Shrink that down just so you can see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that image, man. Look at that camera that he's using, too. Already from the 70s. Yeah, man. Steven Spielberg has already been doing it. I don't know if that's him in the picture, but I imagine so. That's a pretty good prop that they did right there for the shark. That looks almost somewhat realistic, even for that time period. That's pretty impressive, I gotta say. So we all know Steven Spielberg is a big deal. That's basically the point that I'm trying to make here. Okay, so you have Steven Spielberg, you have Oprah Winfrey, and then we have Quincy Jones. Now, for those of you, because some people just aren't familiar with these things. Like some people don't even read the credits. I remember when I was having this conversation and I'm saying like, oh, did y'all see the movie Barbie? And people are like, I ain't gonna go see that. And then I'm like, oh, did you see the movie The Color Purple? People are like, oh, I ain't gonna go see that. And I get it. Maybe that's just not your cup of tea. But if, I feel like I'm a movie fan, like how I'm a hip hop fan. I'm not that much of like a serious movie fan, but I like to see movies. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't think I'm going to like the movie, sometimes maybe I'll go watch it. Will I take the time to go to the theater and go watch that movie? Maybe not. Unless I'm with somebody that's like, hey, I really want to go see that. You want to see that? And I might be like, all right, yeah, let's go see that. I won't be like, nah, I'm not seeing that movie. I'm open-minded. You know what I'm saying? So the point is that I know some people that'll say, hey, I'm not going to go see that. And then I know some other people that are going to say they ain't going to see that. But the point is that if you saw these two movies, you would see that they're very similar. So the fact that there's people out there that tell me, oh, I didn't know that Warner Brothers did the same movie. I mean, I don't know. Maybe those things just stick out to me. Maybe because I used to work in record companies and all that. So when I heard an album come out, I would always like look at the labels too. I didn't just look at the artist. I would also look at like, oh, what label are they on? And then I would see that most of those artists sound similar to each other. Not always, but a lot of the time. Like, come on. You're going to tell me when TDE first dropped, Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy, they all had kind of a similar sound along with Absol. It was all similar. So anyways, Quincy Jones. For those of you that don't know who Quincy Jones is, which I'm really hoping that a lot of you do, because he is considered one of the best producers of all time, which, by the way, the reason is because he's done a lot of great albums and a lot of great work, but I really think it's because of his work with Michael Jackson. That's why I think he's big. The man produced Thriller, okay? Bam! Produced Thriller. Probably the greatest album of all time. Not my favorite Michael Jackson album, but probably the greatest album of all time. And that's why people are still trying to compare themselves to this album to this day. People to this day are still trying to compare themselves to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is the star among stars. In the 80s, in the 90s, he was just unstoppable, untouchable. The star among stars. I think Quincy Jones was really like the only person that really got Michael Jackson. Like when I see Michael Jackson around other people, they all seem starstruck. But Quincy Jones, you can tell by this picture right here. Quincy Jones seems like the only one that was kind of like a father figure to him. You could tell that Quincy Jones was like a father figure to Michael Jackson. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking about this too is because this man is one of the producers of The Color Purple. And he's also a black man. And Tupac was also going to marry his daughter. There's a lot connected to this man in music, in history, in culture. Ooh, man, if y'all knew the power of Quincy Jones, geez, man, now that I think about it, the power of Quincy, Dr. Dre's idol. Okay, this is who Dr. Dre wants to be. Everybody talks about, oh, Dr. Dre's the greatest producer of all time, the greatest hip hop producer of all time. You know what Dr. Dre did? Dr. Dre just studied Quincy Jones's formula. You know what Fat Lip from the Far Side told me, which helped me realize something? He said, hey, Quincy Jones never played an instrument. Now, I don't know if that's fully true, but I definitely don't think he made beats. I think he just knew how to put all the musicians together and have them in the room together and have them know how to collaborate. Kind of like Rick Rubin. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but Quincy was before all of them. So Rick Rubin, Dr. Dre, they all studied Quincy Jones's formula. And I know a lot of y'all can relate to this because, hey, that's what we do on this channel is we talk about beats. So I know we can relate to this. So let's not forget like one of the greatest producers of all time. And like I said, man, if we can get these likes up, let's go, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the subscribers. Let's do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it up. Let's get it up so we can get this message out here. So, and I just want to say real quick, I think it's silly that they try to compare Drake and Chris Brown to Michael Jackson. You guys will never be on the level of Michael Jackson. You know, one of the reasons why is because when some of the celebrities are around Drake, I don't think they care. Like, I think if Drake and 50 Cent were in the same room together, I don't think 50 would care. I think 50 or Eminem would just kind of look at Drake and just be like, I'm better than you. I'm tired. Like, yeah, you cool, you good, you got some shit, but I got that. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't fucking with me. That's how I think they would think if they was in the room with like Chris. I think if you put Eminem, Chris Brown, and Drake all in the same room, even though I know Dr. Umar's not going to agree with this, but if you put them all in the same room, I think everybody would say that Eminem is the GOAT out of those three. Eminem is the closest to Michael Jackson than those three. I think I would say that. So when I hear these stupid articles that, let's just be honest, are really written by the Illuminati, these stupid articles that are written by the Illuminati and the powers that be, we all know that when they say, oh, Drake is outsold Michael Jackson, he's considered to be one of the greatest artists of all time, or Drake beat Michael Jackson's record for the most #1 albums, or whatever the stupid record was for. And it's just like, okay, and what's your point? What's your point? And did he really sell that many records? Are kids buying vinyl today like they did back in the 80s? Are kids buying cassette tapes, let alone CDs? Nah, I don't think people are lining up at the record store to buy tapes. I don't think so. So how are you calculating these record sales? What are we calculating these record sales by? Digital downloads? I'm assuming that that's what it is. Digital downloads, right? It has to be that. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot more of an easier way to disperse music at a larger quantity at a shorter amount of time than it is to press up copies of albums. If you sell out of like 1 million albums real quick in less than a quarter, how can you print up that many records to keep up? He probably had to sell 1 billion records over time. Anyways, going back to the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, thank y'all for watching, tuning in. Let's get these likes up if we can. You know? Going back, man. The Color Purple, man. They got Quincy Jones, Oprah Winfrey, and Steven Spielberg that are the producers of this movie. Meaning that the producers are the ones that helped with the budget. They helped secure the deal. They're putting up the money, or they're helping to invest in the money or raise the money or get investors for the money. I mean, I'm assuming that that's what a producer is. What else would a producer of a movie be? You just putting your name on it just to put your name on it and get a check. And then if it wins an Oscar, you get an Oscar too, or you get the Oscar nominee. Come on, Oprah. So this is why Oprah had to take the stand and tell her part. Now, a lot of people are saying that they don't believe it. They think that they're beefing, her and Taraji. But this is more than just a beef of her and Taraji. This is also like something that's going on in the black community. Whether you're rich and famous or you're at the bottom working at, and I don't want to knock anybody's job to what they have, but you know what I'm saying? Let's just say the people out there that are doing jobs that they hate. If you're doing a job that you hate to just make money, then that means that you're right now at the lower percent, which is fine because you can always work your way up. As long as you're willing to do that, as long as you have drive and ambition, you can work your way up. But let's just say this, because, you know, sometimes you could talk about these things to people that are at a certain level and they may be like, well, I don't really care. They're rich and famous. That don't bother me. That ain't going to pay my bills. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. You know how grown folks talk. But let me say this. Sometimes it's good to look at these issues, I think, because a lot of this is going on everywhere in the world at all levels, whether you're rich or you're poor. It's going on all over the place. So if we don't address it, if you just rather be distracted, and this goes back to, I think, the point that I was making earlier. I knew I would circle back around to that about the debate that I had with my girl at the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not like I said, if she's watching, I hope she don't get mad about this, but she's a person that I very much like and care for dearly. And that's why we were talking about this certain subject and about this particular movie, because I know that this is a movie that's gonna, for the most part, it was written for women, just like Barbie is. And that's why I feel men should be watching these movies. I'm not saying like go watch all these girl chick flicks, because to tell you the truth, Barbie, I'm sure was not really a chick flick for those that have seen it. And definitely the Color Purple was not a chick flick. But I can definitely see women going to see these movies. Majority is going to be women. But I feel like as men, we should be going to see these movies too, so they know, or so we know what they're saying about us. That's why we should go see these movies, I feel. I want to know what Hollywood and what the general census is thinking about me, especially the black man. I want to know. So when seeing The Color Purple, it's just like, I mean, this is the thing, is that people want to go see these movies and they want to be entertained. But it's like, yo, if you got to get your money right, you shouldn't be concerned with trying to be entertained. And I think that's what I'm trying to say with the distractions of the lower level or the higher level. It's all good if you at a lower level and you working your way up, but don't be distracted. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it comes down to entertainment, that's fine. Watch what you want to watch, but don't be distracted by all the bullshit. And I think that that's what's interesting to me when people say, oh, I don't care to talk about that. It ain't going to pay my bills. I don't have time for that. That's celebrities. That's rich people. That's gossip. Who cares? Yeah, some of that might be true. But this particular subject right here, I think is important. I think that this particular subject right here is actually something to think about, where it's like, oh, wow, what she's talking about, what Taraji and Oprah are talking about, I remember hearing when I used to work at a 9-to-5 job. I remember hearing that shit at my desk or in the cubicle, or hear so-and-so saying, oh, well, they're not paying me what they're paying so-and-so, and she's doing twice the work. And it's just like, oh, okay. And I felt that way too, where I'm doing more work than half the people in this office, and you coming to me trying to put more work on my desk while your ass is on your phone texting? Nah, you ain't gonna do that to me just because you're the supervisor. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. So I know, man, some of us have been there, done that. That's why I appreciate everything, man. And again, and speaking of appreciating, I would appreciate it if y'all could help out with these likes, subscribes. Let's get it up. And I want to say, man, I thank y'all for getting the subscribes up, because I do feel that I've been seeing more subscribers come in and all that. So I just want to say I really thank y'all for that. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and just like play a little bit of this.
Oh, that's the way the studio system works. And
also, Warner Brothers, like Taraji said, has way too much money to be playing around like this, like saying like, oh, well, this is the budget that we have for you, and we can't really give you any more or whatever. And it's just like, come on, man, y'all are Warner Brothers. Like, even if you don't want to pay that. But we'll come back to that later, because technically the movie didn't really make money. So maybe they were kind of right. I don't know.
People needed. I'm not in charge of the budget, because that's Warner Brothers. You know, that's the way the studio
at least she
system
said
works. And we as producers, everybody gets their salary. That's negotiated by your team. And so whenever I heard there was an issue, or there was a problem with the cars, or there was a problem with the food, I would step in and do whatever I could to make it right. And I
this part
believe
right here,
that she would even vouch for that and say that is true.
I think she would vouch for that. I can vouch for that, because I've seen you and your work and behind the scenes, how you step in and you have put your own money up.
I'm all for
of course you can vouch for that, because you're part of the Illuminati and you're a paid agent to be a psyop.
for everybody being the greatest and rising to meet the rising of their own life. And so, I mean, all this stuff about there.
By the way, doesn't Oprah look kind of different? Like something looks different about her.
Something online about us being separated at the top of the Empire State Building. On that particular day, we were so cold. So I don't know what kind of body language people were talking about. I was like just trying to stay warm, and that was the fourth thing we had done. And so there's no validity to there being a thing between Taraji and I.
Yeah.
So she had to go up and clear that up because everybody was saying that they felt that there was a beef. She really felt the need that she had to clear that up. Or maybe her team told her, like, hey, you got to clear this up because this is getting crazy, man. This is getting crazy. But, yeah. Let's go to the Golden Globes. What's his name? Jo Koy. Hey, at least he's trending. You put in Joe, he's the first thing that comes up. So we all know about the Taylor Swift joke, right? Let's see. Is he going to speak on it right here? I didn't even know if he already spoke on it. Oh, wow. This was just an hour ago. Let's go. May have to pause this to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's ad is playing. Let's see. Golden Globes, red carpet, arrivals. All right.
You made us Filipinos so proud tonight.
I love you. You make me proud tonight.
No, this is about you.
I had to drop my halkita at the end.
Yeah,
Did you hear me say that? I had to say it.
It was kind of
I want
emotional.
everybody to know. I'm gonna still drop some Filipino in this night tonight.
And you did
we're
it.
saying mahal
That's
kita,
what I'm saying.
and I want the world to Google it. Google that.
And not for nothing, big night for AAPI, right?
Come on, all day. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's not just one.
Yeah.
It's like for all of us.
Real quick, did you see Taylor's reaction to your joke this week?
Oh man.
What'd you think?
It was cute. I was just saying it was cute. I was just saying it's just less cutaways. You know what I mean? That's all.
You know, maybe she was just thirsty. She needed to take a drink of the champagne.
Oh man, I love you, man. Thank you so
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to hear him speak on it a little bit more, but I guess he's right. He had to be kind of cool about that. Maybe he can't really speak too much on it, but let me just go back to his facial expression. I want to make sure I see that.
She was
again.
just thirsty. She needed to take a drink of the champagne.
It's cute. I was just saying it's just less cutaways. You know what I mean? That's all.
You know, maybe she was just thirsty. She needed to take a drink of the champagne.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. I mean, I thought Jo Koy's performance was all right. I think it was a tough room. Like I said, if we go to the Golden Globes real quick, the Golden Globes, and I want to see the current one where they had the table with Leonardo DiCaprio, if I can find that. If I can't find it, then whatever. DiCaprio, or however you spell his name, with Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese. Or we don't even have to go to the table. We could just look at, I'm sure they got images of them. I mean, yeah. Of course, they all took pictures together, but let me see. The table looked interesting. All right, guess we got to put the year in. Let me see if that helps. Yeah, we can always go to the YouTube highlights to see it. But if we go to the picture, like, these are the guys that are in the room that you have to make laugh. Okay? Have we seen them already, like, in enough movies, which we already kind of talked about? But it's not really about that. That's not the point I'm making here. The point I'm also making here is that, you got to make these guys laugh. These guys are not laughing. These guys are part of the Illuminati. These guys are wise guys. Leonardo is about to be the next, or he already is, Robert De Niro, Jack Nicholson, Al Pacino. Leonardo's up there like that, and Martin Scorsese knows that, and he's holding on as much as he can to Leonardo because he knows that without Leonardo, he's nothing now. Like, nobody's going to care about your movies. Like, just like how he talked trash about Marvel. Well, guess what? If Leo decided to stop working with you, nobody would care about your movies. And y'all might think that I'm being kind of harsh on Martin, but that's because I've heard him say some things before that I didn't really agree with either. But we don't need to get into all of that. But I will say, though, man, that Leo is obviously that guy, right? But look at him. He's always so serious, except for when he's out drunk partying, at his parties. But if you don't happen to be at a Leo party, maybe he just has to have a different image. You know what I'm saying? Because when you've seen him at the parties, I've heard people that went to parties with him, you know what I'm saying? They all say different stories about like how he's completely different, of course. So maybe he has to play like this serious person, like Leonardo is like always acting, you know what I mean? But then when you see him at a party, he's like rapping to like 90s hip hop, which is cool. I'm glad that he's a fan of 90s hip hop. Like he knows what's up with DJ Premier and stuff. So I got to respect Leo for that. He does know what's up with real hip hop. All right. So shouts out to you, Leo. Thank you. And while we got some people watching, man, can we get the likes up, the subscribes up? It helps get the message out there. It helps get the word out there, even later on for when we do the rerun. You know what I'm saying? The restream. I appreciate it, man. We out here doing it. You know what I mean? From the ground up, all the way up. Started from the bottom, now we here. So the point is, man, is that Leo is that guy. And he's always going to play like he's so serious when he's on the red carpet or when he's at the Golden Globes. Same thing with Robert De Niro or Bob. Let me say this, man. Do you think that you can make these people laugh? They're not going to laugh. Even if you are funny. Even you could be Dave Chappelle or Katt Williams or whoever you want to bring up. Ricky Gervais, whatever his name is, or Gravis, or however you say his name. You know what I'm talking about. Who everybody said was the classic, which I feel like Jo Koy was kind of trying to sound like. They never laugh. Okay? And when you got a whole room of people that are similar to him, that's how they're going to act. That's how they are going to act, man. And maybe like some other people have said, man, maybe people are getting too soft now. Maybe people are too soft and they're just like, oh, it's like, come on, man. Laugh a little. See if they show some of the highlights after we come back to this. They're not going to laugh, man. And that's just the way it is. Who else was it that was in the room? Ryan Gosling, all of them.
Between the Golden Globes and the NFL.
So we all heard the joke.
On the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to.
I mean, we just wanted to play that joke real quick. But did you see that too? Like when they showed the Golden Globes highlights or best moments, it was so terrible. It was so terrible. And I know. I just want to just check out some of it just real quick, and then we'll go on. No, we don't want to watch that. Yeah, maybe we'll just skim through it real quick. Yeah, it might get flagged though if we do it though, right? I don't want the video to get flagged, so please forgive me, y'all. I just want to find this. Yeah, the Margot Robbie, Robert De Niro. He's just like, huh? Yeah. Well, he's not gonna laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on. You're not gonna make a man. And let me. That's another thing I wanted to go to. Look at the room real quick, man. Read the room, except for the two black people right here. But do they really count? Because I think that's Gail, who's Oprah's homegirl. Right here. Oh, yeah, that's Oprah's homegirl, and that's homegirl, I believe, from The Color Purple. Make some noise. Better yet, sound the alarm. Those are the only two black people that are allowed in the room. Is the girl from The Color Purple and Gail, who's Oprah's homegirl. So you guys should feel privileged to be in here and have a seat at the table. Everybody else around here, all Caucasian, all white. Oh, and by the way, the woman behind Robert De Niro is his baby mother, who's like, I don't even know how old she is, but let's just say that he's old enough to be her grandfather. So just in case you didn't know, that's his baby mother right there. Check out this image right here. And by the way, Robert De Niro is also sitting at the table with Leonardo and Martin Scorsese and a bunch of other rich, old, white, powerful men. Okay, I won't say that Leo's old, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, come on, man. Can we get some other talent coming up that doesn't look like you? Look at this room, man. all white. And I think that you can't get mad at me for saying this because Jo Koy said the same thing. And the guy Ricky, too, said the same thing. And it's so interesting to me that when I look at this image that the only two black people that are in the room, I want to make sure I take a screenshot of that, are two black people that we know. Like, I don't know who this white woman is that's sitting behind Robert De Niro. I don't know who the other one is. I'm sure they're both obviously powerful people in Hollywood. I don't know who they are. You probably wouldn't even know who the woman sitting behind Robert De Niro is. But everybody clearly knows who the two black women are. I mean, maybe they don't if they didn't see The Color Purple. Like, if I didn't see The Color Purple, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm about 90 to 95% sure that that's her. I don't know her name, but I'm pretty sure that that's her, especially after seeing the movie. That these are the only two black people allowed in the room. I know there's more black people in the room. I know. I'm just saying, it's like, in this shot, in this frame of a shot, that seems to be a shot of pretty much what's going on predominantly in this room. I can guarantee you it's probably not that big. It looks bigger on TV than you think it really is. That these are the only black people that we see in this frame? Crazy. He's not going to laugh. I think, let's see. Yep, that's the table I was looking for. That's the shot. That's the shot. That's the shot right there. Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. Let me go to another one for y'all real quick too right here. We're going to pull up something else. After I get that real quick though. Let me just go back. So we have Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese. I've seen that guy somewhere before, this guy right here, but I don't know who he is. Leonardo right there. I forgot her name. I think she's an actress, and then Martin. And then over here we got the black table. Over here, it looks like. Looks like there might be a few others right here on the right-hand side. Yeah, not too many other nationalities in this room. Now, I want to ask y'all this. Is this a coincidence? Not sure of it. Not sure. But yeah, that was the main shot that I just wanted to show you guys. Crazy, right? Crazy. So that will bring me over to Angela Bassett, right? And you know what? As a matter of fact, let's play this off of the Twitter because yeah, and Oprah, of course, like everybody was like just tripping on how Oprah was looking. Let's play this off of the Twitter because I don't want the video to get flagged. Give me one moment while I pull this up, y'all. Yeah, man. This whole movie industry is just really strange, man. It's a strange thing. Angela, my bad, Bassett. So she got the honorary Oscar, right? And a lot of people are saying, just what does that mean, man? Like she just got an award for
win an Oscar. That extraordinary woman being my dear sister friend Whoopi. And still more than a...
She didn't get the Oscar for her role. She got an honorary Oscar. You know what that means, right? That means like, oh, we didn't really give you an Oscar for a movie, but we'll give you an Oscar because we have to.
Oh, Angela.
I think it's really because the Oscars had got so much criticism that they gave it to Jamie Lee Curtis. And for those of you that don't know, Jamie Lee Curtis, yes, is a white woman. And not just the fact that she's a white woman, but a lot of people were upset because they felt that her role was not as powerful as Angela's role. And it's like, well, okay. People have their opinion. The Academy voted, but I think it was because of social media now. Obviously, social media has such a huge impact of what's going on in the industry and somewhat. Oh, and by the way, doesn't Regina King look like she's dressed like a, you know what I mean? She looks like she's dressed like part of that rainbow thing right now. She looks like she's rocking that. That's why this whole situation is an interesting situation. The way Regina, like if you just look at the symbols, stop worrying so much or focusing so much on the little small details, and let's just look around on everything that's going on. The way she's dressed, the kiss that happened, and the whole point of the award, the honorary you know what I'm saying? Like that basically means that we're not giving you the award because we thought that you put on the greatest performance, which is what you're supposed to, I believe, win an Oscar for. I mean, this is the first time I ever heard of an honorary Oscar. This is more so we're giving you the award because social media probably talked so much trash that we had to give you the Oscar. So here you go. We didn't give you an Oscar for any of the movies that you did, but we'll just give you an Oscar just because we didn't give you one. How can you put an Oscar on your shelf and say, oh, you know what? You didn't make it in the top 5. You weren't number 1. You weren't the champion. You didn't win, but here's an honorary award. It's like going to the finals, playing basketball, and you go into the finals and you lose the championship. And they're like, well, you know what? Even though you lost the championship, we're going to give you 3rd place. And then you're going to really go hang up a 3rd place award on your wall? I mean, come on. For those of us that played sports, who's going to hang that up on their wall?
Tonight, I have the honor of presenting an Academy Award to a national treasure.
All right, let's just get to the part, right?
Angela played the title role, and I played her younger sister, which was the easiest role I could imagine because Angela really is a sister to me. A history-making
Nice
she has mesmerized us in over 100 roles.
100 roles and didn't win one Oscar. 100 roles and didn't win one Oscar. That's crazy, yo.
But it's the quality, not the quantity of her performances that sets Angela apart. I mean, let's talk about range, okay? Who else could play Betty Shabazz twice and an anime blows me away?
I don't know.
Truly,
OK player just plays the
people
speech,
say that
or if they
proudly black. But what she embodies at her core
great.
is
Great. This is, yeah. This was an interesting moment in Hollywood. I mean, I got to tell you, man, Hollywood is just a strange place. As you can see, you know, not to go back to the Taraji crying and the soul that looks like they tried to snatch from her eyes. That look, you know. Yeah, let's open this up in a new window because it looks like it's tripping. Hold on for just a second, yo. And like I said, man, while I'm doing a little bit of research on this, if we can get the likes and the subscribes up, really appreciate it, man. It helps us. It helps the channel grow. It helps us go on to do big things is what we're trying to do here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that one wants to buffer, but we can go back to the kiss on another one. It's all over the internet, right? Did y'all see? It was just a little strange, like how she comes up to accept her award. Crazy, man. Let me pull this up. It's funny how the Illuminati operates. They operate in certain ways where, you know, you could search certain things and then they come up and then certain things disappear. Like this person edited out the kiss. They just show the part where they're like, no, take that kiss out. Take that kiss part out. Don't show the kiss. So it looks like now she's probably trying to have it snubbed from the internet. I think right here we might have it. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Interesting that other person cut out the kiss. If it's not a big deal, then why'd you cut it out? Why don't you just have her walk up on the stage, give Regina the hug that gave her the speech, and then give her the kiss? You see what I'm saying? That's the part that I'm trying to make here, man, is that obviously there's a lot of people that are at work to try to hide certain things. I heard one person say in the comments, which was funny, where they said, oh, was that the witches initiation? Interesting how they do that, man. There we go. Yeah. I don't know what y'all think. Even the way she was like grabbing her head and the way she's holding her. You see what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people were tripping on too. The way it seems like a very romantic gesture. It doesn't seem like just a kiss. That angle right there don't seem like just a peck. Some people are trying to say, oh, it's just a peck. It's just a peck. The whole outfit that Regina is wearing, like she just happens to be dressed in a, blazer with a button-down shirt, collared button-down shirt, like what a man would typically wear, or someone like an Ellen DeGeneres would wear. And then she comes up and grabs her like that and kisses her. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Very, very strange, very weird. But let's talk about some hip hop, right? Let's get back to some rap. I know that's what people want to talk about, man. We don't want to talk about movies on here all day, right? Oh, but can we go back to this part one more time? This is so...
This industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. Yeah. But I refuse to let that happen.
Yes.
Such a weird press run.
See what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face. And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, like, enough is enough. That's why I have other things. I have my TPH brand. I have my mental wellness. I have other things because this industry, if you let it, it'll steal your soul. But I refuse to let that happen.
Yeah.
Is enough. That's why I have other things. I have my TPH brand.
I just want to hear it one more time, y'all. My bad.
I have other things.
It's interesting when I hear celebrities go on these press runs or do these interviews and they talk about their souls being stolen or how they sold their soul or they feel like they sold their soul. Because you see, a lot of people will do anything for money and fame. Some people don't want the fame, but some people just want the money. Like they'll do anything for the money, right? And after some of them get the money, it seems like some of them have the regrets where they feel like they sold their soul. Kind of like the whole Katt Williams, Kevin Hart thing, the beef that they had going on where, Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay. And let me say this too real quick, is that it's real interesting that video or that pod got like 35 million. Shit. I think last time, let's fact check it, right? Let's fact check it, and we're gonna come back to this. This is what I wanted to play next because I already know this answer, but I wanted to hear Dr. Umar's take on the difference between hip hop and rap music. I wanted to hear his take on it. But watch. Let me look this up real quick.
Things because brand. I have my mental wellness. I have other.
Yeah. Crazy. Katt Williams, Shannon Sharp. 43 million, over 40 million. So excuse me, man. And it's only been a week. It's only been a week, man. Wow. Man, they did some crazy numbers, yo. They're almost at Super Bowl numbers. By the rate that they're going right now, within 2.5 weeks, they will be at Super Bowl numbers with this interview. Even the picture with Shannon right there in the thumbnail is crazy. It's like he already knows, man. He already knows how this hit. Woo. So that's what I'm saying, y'all, is that the whole interview is talking about how Kevin Hart sold his soul, which I'm sure a lot of us have already seen it now. So it's just interesting to hear some artists say that, where they're just like, damn, man, they felt like they got the money, they got the power, and now after they made it and they got all that, then it's like they look back at their legacy and they look back at what they did to get all that. And it's like, man, you basically, yeah, I can't say that. I can't say that on the air, but I was almost about to slip and say that too. But it's like, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, where basically They took some of them manhood had to get taken, or it could be on the other way around. What was going on with the whole Me Too movement. So that's what I'm trying to say, man, is that it seems like there's a lot of soul sucking that goes on in this whole rap and movie industry.
The other time they welcomed into you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So my thing is we got to stop, I feel you, but we got to stop redefining misbehavior out of the scope of our institutions because we ain't got the courage to hold somebody accountable. You feel where I'm coming from? We got to stop doing that. It's like if I find out my son is stealing or beating on somebody's daughter and somebody come and tell me that, I'm supposed to go check my son. I can't say, well, he ain't been living at home for 20 years and, I didn't raise my kids to do. That ain't the point. Your son beat on his daughter. Go do something about it. Them gangster rappers is influencing our children. And y'all consider them hip hop any other time. Go deal with it. Them Christians is over there molesting kids. Don't tell me that's not Christian behavior. Go check them in the name of the church.
On this
side. But do you see what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
Okay.
And I want to add to that point. So what do you have to say to someone say that is not hip hop? That's rap music.
Okay.
And
seems like we about to have a good discussion right here. Let me check this out.
Rap music and hip hop is not the same thing.
And shout out to the bigger picture. Hopefully we helping you out with this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I see y'all coming up a little bit.
Okay. Then change the name of the BET
that
Awards.
are listening to
change the name. Then we got to check. Then we need
but
to see
we don't
some
control that part though.
That ain't true.
It's
we
the
have
listeners
influence.
it's the listeners. I don't control. I don't have no
we have
influence
enough,
over BET.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. But collectively, we have enough influence.
Yeah, but
in other words, ostracize it then. Ostracize it. And tell BET if it's gangster rap, it can't be considered for album of the year.
I mean,
go and tell Billboard if it's gangster rap, it can't be on the Billboard for hip hop. You see what I'm saying? If we're gonna do it, do it all the way.
Right now, with me and you
I
saying to the world
yes, sir.
that's not to the world. Hip hop and rap is two different things.
But then I got to
we
challenge you
went down
again, though.
the
You want to know
wrong
why?
way when we started
I don't think
rapping.
you can separate the two. Let me tell you why.
Okay,
Let me tell you why. You know why you can't separate gangster rap from hip hop? Because if you was to list the top 10 rappers of all time, many of them had very serious, strong gangster rap elements to their music. Is Jay-Z hip hop?
No.
You would say Jay-Z is not hip hop?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. If I would say hip hop, I would say again, hip hop was something a little bit different.
But when most hip hoppers say Jay-Z is hip hop.
But that's most people, but they don't understand.
When you say they don't understand, I feel you.
Yeah.
But you can't dismiss it like that. There has to be a conference.
Yes,
there has to be dialogue, discussion, and votes taken on what is and what out. Because what you can't have is a million different definitions for the same concept.
So can I explain? And I wasn't there. I know Grandmaster Cavalier, and I'm gonna ask them these questions.
I got you.
And I had interviews with them, and they answered this. when hip hop was started, it was for the inner city boys to get a way out. It had nothing to do with music. It was so they wouldn't be with the gangs, so they wouldn't be with the corners.
And
it was a positivity that was put in there that was
creative and progressive
for your ear. Now, rap music came about when they figured out somewhere that they can do comedy. And that was the first rap music. When they decided, like the Fat Boys and stuff like that, that was not hip hop. That was comedy rap. And when they figured out, oh, we could switch it from this and use comedy rap, gangster rap came right after that, because now you saw it could get manipulated.
I agree with you.
And it was no longer hip hop.
Here's
now
my question
that's
to you.
Rap music.
If that was no longer hip hop and it became rap, separate from what was created, I agree with that. Why was there no movement to clarify that?
And that's KRS-One would be sitting here soon, and I would be asking my brother that I love very much, how did that happen? Because I blame him. You know, he's one of the, he said, when KRS-One said, and KRS-One, you know, you are a part of me. So it's no offense. I'm LL Cool J, Rakim, and KRS-One. So it's no offense to nobody. But when KRS-One said he was the god of hip hop, and he threw PM Dawn off the stage.
Okay.
How the hell did you allow?
Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser doesn't just clean.
Yeah, man. I feel what he's saying right there. This is a good conversation right here, man. This is actually what needs to be talked about. I'm gonna come back to play the rest of it after this, but I liked PM Dawn too, so it's interesting that he brought up PM Dawn right there. But he's right. I do remember that when KRS-One had his beef with PM Dawn, whatever their name was back then.
The stage.
Okay.
How the hell did you allow NWA? You know what I'm saying? And all these other guys to come out in the early 90s with that gangster music and that stuff that you should have knew as the god of hip hop, as who you was going to hurt us. If you thought
I want to hear his take on this, but what I'm thinking is that, man, when NWA came out, they were just too powerful. They were just too powerful, man. That's why there was even a movie made about them, Straight Outta Compton. They were just too powerful. That album was too powerful. That movement was too powerful. They all pretty much, you know, became billionaires, definitely millionaires at that time, but they all became billionaires pretty much too. And it's like, yo, man, I don't know if I can agree with these New York cats saying that NWA, Straight Outta Compton, is what changed hip hop, because I know Common was one of the first ones that put that out there. So it's just like, NWA definitely brought out the gangster rap. And okay, people are gonna say, no, that's not true, because you got Ice-T that came out before NWA. And then you got, who else? Was it Schoolie D? Some people said, I don't know. I don't really think so. But the point of the matter is, though, is that NWA was just like the point of gangster rap. Like, there was just like, they just made it mainstream. There's no denying that. So I find it interesting when people say like, oh, why didn't KRS do something about it at that time? Or why didn't the other hip hop rappers stop that? They couldn't. It was too powerful.
PM Dawn was a threat, and you had to go to their concert and grab them and throw them off the stage. Why didn't you do that with NWA and the rest of these clowns? That they wasn't real gangsters. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was that.
Hey, yo, he just called NWA clowns. Yo, I got to say real quick, I highly disagree with that. No shape or form do I think that NWA are clowns. And second of all, you can't get to that level of fame by being a clown. And on top of that, be relevant and be called a clown. Like Ice Cube and Dr. Dre. I mean, did y'all forget that Ice Cube and Dr. Dre are from NWA? So you're basically calling Ice Cube a clown. Come on, man. We all know that take is trash. I see why you got these big stars. Now I see why you got these big stars on your channel and you got still less than 10,000 subscribers. I gotta check this cat out now. Well, you know what? We're gonna come back and do our research later because that's what we do on YouTube. But I'm just gonna say, like, no disrespect. I mean, it's a great conversation. I will say that. But my point is, though, is that how you gonna call NWA clowns? Let's just make sure I heard that correctly. I want to make sure I'm not, exaggerating here.
Concert and grabbed them and throw them off the stage. Why didn't you do that with NWA and the rest of these clowns that they wasn't
Yeah, it sounds like he called NWA clowns. Hey, man.
real gangsters? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like it was that much of a threat. And we already know BDP was strong anyway.
Right.
Why didn't you go stop
even before
they shows?
NWA, though, because I don't want to scapegoat the West.
BDP was nowhere on the same level as NWA. This guy sounds like, to me, that he's in some kind of East Coast fantasy. NWA was, I think, the largest hip-hop group at the time. Let's do some research. Straight out of Compton. Okay, not the movie. I want to know about the album. Came out in 1988. 88. Man, what a year. That's when, like, gangster, man. That's when it was really dangerous to be a gangster. Like, that's when you actually had to be a gangster before you became a rapper. Ice-T and all them dudes, like, they was all gangsters before they became rappers. Ice-T said that he was a gangster gangbanging, and he just was rapping for fun, and everybody was like, hey, you should do that more. You should go out there and do that more. And let me speak the truth, because I heard Ice say this to me personally. I met Ice. Cool dude, too. Very humble. And let me tell you all this, man. Let's get the likes up and the subscribes up, because like I tell you, man, we do this for real. This is beatGrade. This is real shit right here. We're going to do our research. And like I said, man, come on. BDP, when did they come out, man? I think it was 87. Criminal Minded. Yeah, see, I'm right, man. I know my history, yo. I know my history. Make some noise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Came out right here, 87. If y'all can see that. So, yeah, man, BDP, Boogie Down Productions, love their stuff. We don't need to get into album sales and all that, because we already know that Straight Outta Compton was just on another level. But man, wasn't the hip hop like so tough back then in the 80s? I might have to go and just listen to 80s hip hop. I think one day, yeah, I'm just going to maybe do that later. Like, I'm just going to just listen to a bunch of 80s hip hop. I'm going to listen to LL. I'm going to listen to Rakim. I'm going to listen to NWA. I'm going to listen to BDP. That's it, man. No other hip hop. Just 80s hip hop. I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying for that day, or just at least for a few hours. Just want to hear 80s hip hop. You know? Whoo! But man, this was a powerful album. There was nothing really touching this at the time. So I could see his frustration and his anger, because BDP came out just right before Straight Outta Compton. So they probably came out, and then once Straight Outta Compton came out, it just went boom. It just blew everybody's minds. It was just like, psh, that just put, and thankfully so. I think it was good that they put the West Coast on the map. I don't think anybody else really put LA, Compton on the map before that. That's what did it. So Dr. Dre, I mean Ice-T too. Let's not forget, you're right. We got to go back and we got to say Ice-T. But yeah. You know what's interesting? I think this is what's been interesting about this one is that. Give me a second, y'all. Yep. Thank y'all. I see the chats now coming in. All right. Let me go back to this real quick for y'all. So here we go.
West Coast, because the East Coast also had its gangster.
I don't want to name names.
We had our Coogee raps and we had our gangster
Coogee rap
thing
was
too.
positive though. He gave you the real other side of it.
I understand, but that was still there, though. The gangster piece was growing before NW. The momentum was there for NWA to take it on.
It's not
I don't want
it's
NWA
not
to
about
be seen as the
name,
scapegoat.
But they were.
Good point. Thank
They
you,
were.
Dr.
For
Umar.
me, because I'm that age, I went right from KRS-One and, X-Clan to a year later, fuck the police and kill a bitch and all of that.
But
F the Police is a very political song if you think about it. Did he just say that F the police, like that's a bad thing? How is that a bad thing? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and why we talking about this subject, if we can get the likes up, the subscribes, but definitely the likes, comments. I'm going to read your chats in a minute. I really thank y'all, I'm glad that I was able to speak to y'all. I didn't even see the chats coming in until just right now. So I thank y'all that are chatting, and I'm going to read a couple of it in a minute. But let me just say this real quick, though, that it's like, how are you going to say this? I mean, man, this is an interesting take. I did not know that they was going to go here. I want to see what the comments are saying on this. Yeah, this is weird. This is
They were.
I was only planning on playing a little bit of this, man, but this got so interesting that I feel like I do have to hear this conversation.
For me, because I'm that age, I went right from KRS-One out of it.
I understand, but that was still there, though. The gangster piece was growing before NW. The momentum was there for NWA to take it on.
It's not
I don't want NWA to be seen as the scapegoat.
But they were. They were. For me, because I'm that age, I went right from KRS-One and, X-Clan to a year later, fuck the police. And
that's the part I wanted to hear. That, man. Sound the alarm on that, man. I think I just had a conversation with someone about this the other day, man. Where they said the same thing. And they was like, man, Fuck the Police is such a powerful song. I just got to say it like that, like say it right? That was such a powerful song that how can we hate on that song, man? How can we hate on it? And that was a song that needed to be said. There was a lot of police brutality. It's actually interesting because it was before the whole Rodney King thing, I believe. But it's just like, man, it needed to be said. That's something that needs to be said. And I don't know how people say that that's like a bad song. That does not sound like a gangster song to me. To me, that sounds like a political statement that I think a lot of people will say is one of the greatest rap songs of all time.
I got you.
Which also had the FBI after NWA after that. Come on, can we? So you're gonna tell me that that the FBI is not, familiar with rap and familiar with rap groups if they're sending letters to rappers?
Kill a bitch and
all
of that.
Right, but all I'm saying is the momentum was building on the East Coast with the gangster rap, and NWA just jumped on that momentum. And
I mean,
in other words, they could have checked it before it got out of hand.
Yeah,
NWA is out of hand.
Yeah,
it could have been checked before that. But that's a contradiction that has to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I said.
And I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I will ask
you.
Him,
right?
Why didn't you? Because I do hold him.
I got you.
When you said you was the
and it
God
ain't just about him though.
Hip hop.
It's the whole community.
Yeah, but he said he was the God.
Right.
Once he put himself in that.
Right, but one man can't make a movement though. It was all of them.
Then
who
you
should have come together.
Said you the God of
and
hip-hop.
guess what? They could have confronted, but you don't even have to confront. Clarify. Y'all gonna call this something different. You can have a press conference. Y'all gonna call this something different. And you know why nobody clarified? I'm gonna tell you why they didn't clarify. One of the reasons, people wanted to get paid.
Yeah, they said.
And if nigga and bitch is going to make the money, I'm not gonna say a word because I want a payday.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, though, right? That's pretty obvious that everybody just wants to get paid. Yeah, man. That's an interesting conversation right there, man. How everybody just wants to get paid and that's all they want. But I'm gonna tell you what, man. Straight Outta Compton. I wish we could play some of that right now. Ice-T. When was Ice-T's first album? Just since we're on it, real quick. Yeah, I didn't want to hear all that. Yep. thought he did an album called Crime Pays, but yeah, Rhyme Pays. That's a great title, man. 87. See, man, 87 was just hell of a year, man. Hell of a year in rap music. If you go back and you listen to that music and you listen to the artists that came out then and then you compare them to the artists now, it's just so crazy, man. It's so crazy. There was one thing that I wanted to go through. I wanted to change the subject real quick, but I'm going to come back to the hip hop in a minute. But I was really thinking about how it was interesting that Shannon Sharp and Katt Williams were talking about Mark Zuckerberg, right? And I think I'm going to pull that up on the TikTok or on the Twitter. Give me just one moment to pull that up. Jeez. While that's going on, we'll go to that. 1 second. Pull it up for y'all in a second. You guys can look at the TMZ outtakes. Crazy shit going on. The stupidity. I don't even know why they even cover this. I don't know why TMZ keeps covering that. All right. All the beef that's going on. Here we go. Waiting for some of y'all to give some likes and some subscribes. This is Jay-Z at his Book of Clarence, which I probably will go see, maybe.
Yeah. But you also tackle tough subjects, right? The Western, we don't see ourselves.
The funny thing about that, sorry, cut you off, but that's a great question. The funny thing about that is the fact that we view them as tough subjects. What's tough about us being in the Western? We were absolutely there. I believe the term cowboy was created as a slur to black people. I think that's where the term comes from. From my research and my history, the term comes from, it was a slur.
Not mad at listening to Jay-Z talk some knowledge, though.
We made it look so good. It was like, get that back. Run it back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just representation. We're just telling a proper story. When we told the story of
Mark Zuckerberg,
They Fall, it was a fictional story, but this real was my brother. We just talked and we just created.
Yeah. Interesting that he says cowboys came from that? Came from a slur that was done for black people? Interesting. Never heard that before, but I believe it. Hey, if Jay is saying it, I believe it. Here's the part with Katt Williams, I believe, where they're talking about Mark Zuckerberg.
building this $270 million bunker.
If you have $1 billion, we have learned that you can do whatever you want to do. When Elon Musk wants to send things in space, he don't have to ask nobody's permission. Congress don't meet. Senate don't meet. No police department got to be warned. He don't need a...
This was a part that I felt like a lot of people skipped over, which I felt was one of the most important parts of this interview, man. Not just the Steve Harvey and the whatever it was, Kevin Hart stuff and Cedric the Entertainer. But I also think this part where he's talking about Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and how Mark Zuckerberg is building a bunker. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think that that's something that people should be paying attention to. Some people should be like, hey, why is he building a bunker?
And you see this Mark Zuckerberg building this $270 million bunker.
If you have $1 billion, we have learned that you can do whatever you want to do. When Elon Musk wants to send things in space, he don't have to ask nobody's permission. Congress don't meet. Senate don't meet. No police department got to be warned. He don't need a permit. None of that. If you got $1 billion, you do what you want to do, and then you tell them what you did.
Man.
And that's how it goes.
What he building a $270 million bunker? What do he know that we don't know, Kat?
That's the part right there.
Kim Jong-un? What? I don't know.
Yo, I think that this was one of the most important parts of the interview. Make some noise, man. This was one of the most important parts of the interview. I don't know how people miss this.
Know
part.
what you don't know. Do you understand that people that are not very bright are in charge of nuclear bombs all across the country?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he knows. He knows that 30% of all weapons systems are running off regular Wi-Fi. So what does that mean? That means if a solar flare or a meteor hits either one of those, literally a bomb can go off just because the system accidentally got turned off. Yeah, that's what he knows. The people that are in power know that the people that are running the most complicated and deadliest things on the planet
right.
are just an average idiot. And you know lots of idiots.
I do.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That was one of the most important parts of this interview is what I'm thinking, is when they were talking about that, for sure. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about that part. I mean, some, like you see that this one I was able to find on Twitter. I think it's got over 60,000 hits, so that's cool, 65K. But compared to the other ones, they're like in the millions. You know what I'm saying? So for this one to just be less than 1 million, like I think it's kind of interesting because I feel like he's basically talking about all the powers that be, the people that have control to nuclear weapons, the people that are building bunkers, because they know that there could be any moment where something could happen. And Mark Zuckerberg is not the only one. Kanye also was building a bunker in Malibu, and I heard that he had to sell the house because of that. Crazy, man. Yeah, we don't need to go back to the Lil Nas X. Let me read one of your comments in your chats, man, before I get up out of here. But I think I want to say thank you, Joshua Diaz. I appreciate you, man, for the comments. Let me see what you said. You said one thing that stuck out to me. Let me play it right here where I see it. Drake is okay. Don't know him as a person and don't know if I'd fuck with him as a person, but he has a few songs I like. Impressed Drake used to roll with Ninth Wonder. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people forget that on the mixtape, the comeback mixtape where Drake was already down with Ninth Wonder. So, yeah, man, that's a good point, and I do appreciate that for the most part, you know? But, yes. And to some of you that want to talk some trash, that's cool, man. Hey, I'm here to debate. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to debate. So if you want to debate me, come up and debate. I wish I would have saw that a little bit earlier, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. And you could tell me why you feel that way, man. Hey, I'll tell you this too. It's funny how some people want to talk trash, but your name is Ding Dong. That's your name, Ding Dong. I'll say this to you, Ding Dong. I wish I would have saw that earlier, but I couldn't see anything from the chats. They were coming in slow. But for Ding Dong, who wants to talk trash, let me tell you this. My YouTube check that just came in doesn't tell me that. So that's why we do this, is to build a following and to get the name out there and to get the word out there. So, yeah, there was another comment that was said, yes, about the Lil Nas X. We definitely will probably do a stream about that. Yeah, you said something about Quincy Jones I wanted to see. Quincy Jones been known, to be a predator in the industry. You're right about that. And then there was another point you made about Oprah. Yeah. You can't be the hottest actor, let me say this, or rapper in Hollywood, or the most popular artist in the music industry without sacrificing something to the elite or the gatekeepers. Yeah. And you said you believe that Oprah herself is a gatekeeper. I could definitely see that. I definitely see Oprah as a gatekeeper. And from when you hear, and let's go back to that real quick, you're right, before we get up out of here. Wow. Where she was talking about selling her soul. You can't get to that level of success and fame possibly without some kind of sacrifice. Who knows? Like something it sounds like she's sacrificing something, like maybe all her skills and her talent for these mediocre checks. I mean, we know they're not mediocre, but still, for what she sees her peers getting paid from, like what Margaret Robbie probably got paid for doing Barbie. So yeah, man, it's crazy how we got this going on, but think we about to hop up out of here. I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. I appreciate everybody that likes and subscribes. I want to say too real quick that I'm thinking about starting what's it called? A Patreon, as well as possibly some other sites that we're going to be on. So if you guys see us up on there, please come through. Please hit us up. Please like and subscribe. Hey, that's what it's all about, man. I might take a few more questions in a minute before I get up out of here, but yeah.
Too many years in a culture broken by brutalism.
Talking about Oprah Winfrey, Tahari. Can you imagine what it's like to work with Oprah Winfrey if you study what Oprah Winfrey has done and said? Man. That's why she said, I almost didn't do the shit. Right. I already know. Motherfucker don't know Oprah a motherfucking monster. Oprah is a female Harvey Weinstein. That was her running partner. Man. She ain't never shit on him, did she? Yeah, I don't never hear nothing about Oprah talk all that shit surviving R. Kelly. What about surviving Weinstein fucked up foot, bitch? The real motherfucking problem in Hollywood. A bold ass motherfucking white boy who will try anybody when he in the safety of the motherfucking walls where he can try that shit.
Island. I suggested that if Aaron wanted to make false and very damaging statements like that. Never met Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not on a list. I was not on a plane or an island. I suggested that if Aaron wanted to make false and very damaging statements like that, that we should do it in court. When you hear a guy who won a Super Bowl say something like this, a lot of people believe it. Honestly believe I am meeting up with Tom Hanks and Oprah at Shakey's once a week to eat pizza and drink the blood of children. Never met Jeffrey.
I think it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, man. I don't think we've ever had a time where we had the elites talking about, I can't even repeat what he just said, but you know what I'm saying. It's just like, yeah, man. It's getting crazy out there in Hollywood. It's getting crazy out there in politics. Like y'all know, we got the election that's coming up. So stay tuned. Before I let y'all go, let me just play this one part one more time. Because we got to take, wow. Yeah, on that moment, what a weird press run, man. What a weird thing to say too right there. But yeah, man, on that note, like I said, again, I want to thank y'all. I don't think that I'm going to get into the religious topic that I was going to talk about today. We could talk about that at another time. But yeah, man, I hope everybody's doing great. And yeah, we're going to talk about this craziness a little bit later. Let's go back to this crazy part before I let you go.
Is Jay-Z hip hop?
No.
You would say Jay-Z is not hip hop?
Wow.
No.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah,
Let me tell you why.
let's
You know why
talk,
you
yeah.
can't separate gangster rap from hip hop? Because if you was to list the top 10 rappers of all time, many of them had very serious, strong gangster rap elements to their music. Is Jay-Z hip hop?
No.
You would say Jay-Z is not hip hop?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. If I would say hip hop, I would say again, hip hop was something a little bit different.
But
You know
when
what
most
I'm
hip
saying?
hoppers
So-
say Jay-Z is hip hop.
But that's yeah, most people, but they don't understand.
But see, when you say they don't understand,
I just had to hear that part one more time.
I feel you.
Yeah.
But you can't dismiss it like that. There has to be a conference.
Yes, I
There has
agree.
to be
And
dialogue,
it starts
discussion,
now.
and votes taken
Yeah, it
on what
starts
is
now.
and what out. Because what you can't have is a million
So
different
could I-
definitions for the same concept.
So can I explain? And I don't.
And before I go, I just want to say this on that note. He's right. You can't have just like, let me just make sure I word that correctly how he said it.
Have is a million
So
different
could I-
definitions for the same concept.
So can I?
Yeah, you can't have a million different definitions for the same content. Yeah. I mean, I think he's right, man. Rock and roll pretty much does have its, well, I mean, I think it does have its different things too, but hip hop and rap today is definitely a different thing. There's no question about that. And people need to stop putting West Side Gun in the same category as Sexy Red. You know, like these, I think a lot of these female rappers, and we don't need to talk about that on this call, but you know, we could talk about that later. But I think we can all agree that all the female rappers are pretty much talking about the same thing, from Cardi B to Nicki Minaj to Lotto to Sexy Red. I mean, I don't even know all their names. I mean, but you hear them on the radio. So and you all probably know a bunch of other ones that I don't know. I'm just talking about the big ones that are out. They all pretty much talking about the same thing, like F men get the bag, right? Basically is what their content is about. And I don't consider that hip hop. And I think that that's what they're saying right here. And the same thing goes for rap. A lot of these rappers out here like 21 Savage and all that, you know, who's about to come out with the movie, even though I could hear 21 Savage and West Side Gun on the same track, I feel like they're two completely different styles of rap music. And I think hip hop is probably, just to sum it up, is probably more of the consciousness, and rap music is more of the gangster, whatever, like the Young Thug stuff, the stupid Young Thug thing. So, yeah, man, that's all I got on that. But that's what I just want to say. Again, thanks for everybody. I hope y'all like and subscribe. Thank you. Peace.